Joining us tonight, radio talk show host and New York's WOR, Mark Simone, Washington Times opinion editor, Charlie Hurt. Good to have you both here. Let's start with Ditch Mitch, Mark. I can't believe I've heard a Senate Majority Leader commit political suicide so openly and so succinctly as he did with his statement that the American people expect too much.
Yeah, don't rush the guy. He just,
unbelievable.
He fights hard. He works hard for that swamp. If we could get a guy like that working for us in Congress, we'd be all set. There's no bigger lobbying than the insurance companies, the hospitals. They own the whole Congress, lock, stock, and barrel. Nothing's going to get done.
Charlie, you agree? I mean, basically, is it time to tell the children at home that they should avert their eyes when they see a U.S. senator or a congressman who is basically a swamp denizen?
Yeah, well, I was kind of surprised by your poll that that was only 83%.
I know. We were a little concerned about that ourselves.
It's kind of mystifying, but one of the best poll questions I feel like you've had in a while. But
whoa! Wait,
no,
what was that? What was that?
I mean that as a compliment. It was a terrific. I thought it was a great question.
There you go.
I mean, it's and an important one too. But I have to say, it is pretty depressing because it does suggest that these guys have not learned a thing from this election, where you have Donald Trump, who beat the most entrenched Democrat in a quarter century, beat 16 Republicans.
Who now wants to be a Methodist minister, by the way. You can't leave it. I mean, she had a fallback plan all the time.
Yeah, and you know, I didn't realize until I read that story that might be what's been wrong with her all along, is that she's a preacher. And she's intolerable, and she's not even preaching the gospel. She's preaching some communist mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, it's one screed after another from her, and to say that's the one thing wrong with her, I think would be you're leaving a lot on the table there, Charlie.
I'm being excessively.
Can we get rid of Mitch McConnell?
I think there's a real. I mean, I think that when if he is if he's doing such a bad job of taking the right lesson out of this past election, that he would go and say something like that, and certainly believes something like that, then I think that he is in real danger, both personally, back home, and also as a leader. It's a real problem.
Are you astonished that Republican senators haven't said, my God, this man is out of his mind, we've got to get rid of him, and publicly condemned his atrocious statement?
I don't trust any of them right now. They all look like such wonderful people. At least the mob, they look like bad people.
Well, you don't
trust any of them.
It was kind of a funny thing. I had a friend who once just said to me, a con man wouldn't be very good if he wasn't real likable, and I'm telling you, they all fit the bill.
Yeah, these are all alligators. They like the swamp the way it is. They don't want this disrupted. They're also underestimating how smart Donald Trump is. I've seen him do this through the years with bad city councils, corrupt governments in cities he's gone into. He figures it out. It'll take him a few more months, but he'll figure out this puzzle.
North Korea. Charlie, North Korea is a tough one. In the midst of this, the president is deliberating and dealing with this crisis, and it is a major crisis without question, and no one should mistake that. We have a Russian plane overfly Bedminster, New Jersey, with the president below them at 4,000 feet because of some damn treaty that some idiot signs at some point years ago. Are you kidding?
Well, and also think about all the other nonsensical things that are going on. The Russia investigation, all of the political squalling back and forth over stupid stuff. This stuff is really terrifying, what we're seeing right now. And if we do not come together and have a unified front to confront this, unlike we have done certainly in the past 8 years, and even before that, obviously we did not take this seriously enough and did not take the actions that we should have taken to prevent this from ever coming to pass, we're in deep trouble. And this is a time to be very serious about stuff. And all of this politicking needs to stop.
Now, I raised the question with Feinstein, the ranking Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee, was Chuck Grassley, the chairman of the committee. 83, Grassley is 83, Feinstein is 84, and we're asking these people to march at the same rate as we would a younger man or woman. I don't think it's really fair And I do think that they stand as emblems of what has become a status quo and entrenched establishment interest when we need desperately a Judiciary Committee that is dealing with the issues that are profound and not playing at private detectives.
Well, I mean, it's horrible. And this show of force with Manafort is absolutely a waste of everybody's time.
Oh, what an idiot.
You know, and the guy,
well, I don't know if it is or it isn't, but I do know this. The FBI has a role. Do it. Get these I mean, I said it earlier in the broadcast. What in the hell are we doing giving subpoena power to these people we wouldn't even trust with, you know, the keys to our cars, most of them?
You know, Mueller's the guy that went after Stephen Hatfield, the anthrax investigation.
Right.
He had the wrong guy. He never let up, destroyed the guy's life. The Justice Department had to give him $10 million to make up for it. Let's just remember that.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. You get the last word here, Charlie.
Well, and you know, the idea that we now live in an era, a political era, where a new president comes in and is immediately subjected to a pointless, you know, investigation, FBI investigation that has no bounds and no evidence for you know, for pursuing it. That's a very terrifying time. And I don't think that any other politician we would be seeing this with.
No, I don't think
like
so.
this.
Of course, no other politicians had the guts to take on the establishment and the establishment of both parties, the status quo, the deep state, and they're fighting back without question. The problem is that we have a Republican Party so rancidly corrupt that they won't stand up for this president, and no one should mistake that fact is the reason that this president is having so much trouble.